Hello everybody, and welcome to day 48 of the road to 2K on chess.com. Today we're sitting at our peak at 1881, and it looks like we're going to get to test that peak against an 1886 from South Africa. So d4, we're going to play d5. They play knight to d2, which I have never seen before. So I think we're just going to develop normally. The knight comes out. I kind of want to push c5 to get it off center before I continue. And now we get like a weird, it looks like almost a delayed London system, but their bishop is stuck back here. So let's play e5. I assume their idea is b4. Let's play b6. And if they play a3, we're going to play a5. And our opponent pushes instead. So we've seen lines similar to this before. I think what I want to do is I want to push the pawn. And then if they come up, we take. And if not, so we're giving up this knight right now. I'm not super concerned about it. There's ideas of putting the queen behind it at some point, so we do have to be a little careful for that. But looks to be a playable position. And obviously if takes, we just take, knight takes. And then we'd have to figure out what we're doing. I assume probably bishop captures pawn, because they would have tripled c pawns. And we just have to, the only thing we have to worry about is stopping this. The knight comes in, which doesn't feel right. If we come here, I mean, we have to save the knight, right? So let's save the knight. Takes, takes, or even takes, queen takes. Our opponent comes up. I'm tempted to go knight to g4, but then knight back. So maybe we're going to just continue with development and play bishop to c5, targeting this pawn. And essentially we're trying to punish an unusual opening is all we're doing here. If I play knight in, our opponent's going to take. If we play check, this is being seen right now, so that doesn't work very well for us. We could castle, but then this hangs. Sometimes there's ideas like this, but it doesn't work in this position. Could play queen to e7. Queen to e7, this pawn is weak. Let's do that. I think we'll accept that this pawn is weak for now. Our opponent can't play bishop to g5 for obvious reasons. And I mean, it's just a chess position, you know? Our opponent lashes out with f4. Now, f4 feels wrong. And I think I want to start by playing en passant. So let's do just that. Let's play h6. And now we're threatening ideas like knight captures f3, which is checkmate. And it looks like our opponent's blundered it, so we're just going to take that. And that's a creative checkmate. We move to 1889. GG's to our opponent. I think it's pretty clear that we didn't play that one correctly. So let's learn from our mistakes. Let's try and expand our d4, d5 repertoire, and let's look at the game review. So on today's date, we played with a 78.8, and our opponent played with a 55.4. From the graph, we didn't do terrible out of the opening. d4, d5, knight d2, knight f6 was fine. c5 was correct. c3, knight c6. Now, a lot of times it wants you to take and kind of just get this pawn stuck. But we allowed them to take. We played e5. In this position, I think something that we need to start looking at more is this a5 idea. Because combating, now as a Caro player, I'm used to the opponent trying to hold on to this c-pawn, especially after the advanced variation with the Botvinnik Karls. But a5 stops b4 via takes, and knight takes. So, guess we should have done there. We struck back at the center with e5. b4, b6 was incorrect. And it actually immediately wanted us to strike back in the center, kick this knight away, and I'm assuming to trade this knight off. It's fine. It actually wants us just to push and takes. And at that point, now we play a move like a4. And it's a very sharp position. It's a very weird position where essentially it looks like we have to play against these doubled e-pawns. So ideas for the future. Our opponent instead played b6 instead of bringing the queen out, which we did start to see ideas after queen out and pawn up. We do run into some issues. e4 was slightly wrong. It does want us to just bring the knight out to the side of the board, which is never easy to play. Our opponent brings the knight in. We play knight to e5, c6, bishop out, knight up, and queen e7 was wrong. Now it wants us to castle. And I was concerned after knight captures, but I just completely neglected that our bishop was protected by the pawn, so that's completely on us. Instead, after f4, en passant was incorrect again. It wants us to bring our knight in to probably target the weakened dark squares. But we played en passant. Our opponent took back with that pawn. We played h6. Our opponent played the incorrect move. Now, what we had kind of looked at was if knight captures bishop, then I think I would have taken back first, which is wrong after queen to d4. It says to just take this knight, and then, oh, the knight is still under attack, and you can't just bring it back because you do the same thing where you blunder this check. And this is terrifying to play. And wow, it's a very sacrificial line. Apparently knight captures e4 is best, and after takes, rook to h4. I don't think I'm finding that. If any of you guys find that, really good for you. But instead, our opponent plays knight h3. If we look at this position, the bishop covers the dark squares, which is the issue with pushing this f-pawn, like Ben Feingold likes to say. But these were covered. The queen is pinning this pawn to the knight if the knight ever moves. And then finally, once we bring our knight in, the knight covers the final available square on d2. And we have all these other ones as we talked about before. So we moved to 1889. We're about 2 games off of 1900, which would be our first 100-point milestone in probably a year and a half. So let's hope we can get a few more games in a row and finally hit that point. But thank you everyone for watching. If you have any ideas on how I can improve the content, leave it on down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And then lastly, check below. Make sure you've subscribed, and that way you don't miss any of my future content. And I will see you guys on the next day.